Look at that cute little hummingbird. So time for my weekly update, and this week has been absolutely wild. I have spent, uh, as I mentioned last week, time with some tooth pain, which I'm still working on getting a dental appointment so I can get that fixed. That has been It's been a lot. And there is always the chance that you'll see a lot more shorts from me. It all depends on how much mental with itness I have, because pain is not a fun thing to deal with. Hasn't been overwhelming, but it's definitely been a thing. And then to top it off, I had a very interesting week with everything else, because we had a ginormous storm. Hopefully the wind is not bad as I am walking. It's just a very light breeze, but we had a big storm. You can see I still have branches down here by the lake to deal with, and we lost the top of a tree. And when the top of the tree that you lose is about 50 feet of top, that's one heck of a treetop. So my neighbor and I have been dealing with that. If you saw the short that went up yesterday, you saw my wonderful neighbor, who is the most amazing. Like, she is my aspiration. I want to be her when I grow up. Never mind that I'm in my 50s. I still want to be my neighbor when I grow up. She's kind of awesome. She is always busy, and she runs circles around me, honestly. So, yeah. But she and I and my son were dealing with the tree that fell down kind of all day one day. And then we went on and now I'm dealing with the treetops, trying to get them burned, stuff like that. I did get my garden in. And yes, this is not a permanent deer repelling solution. This is my stopgap that's working for now. But yeah, that was the other thing I've been working on, is my fencing solution. I'll show you that in a minute. But this is my cute little garden. I did buy some seedlings. So I've got tomato, jalapeno, 2 rows of cabbages, 2 rows of broccoli. I tossed in a couple of marigolds because why not? And then over here, not really coming up well yet, but I do see little babies coming up. Over here, I have carrots, lettuce, spinach, and Swiss chard. I'm not going to pull much in the way of weeds until I can tell what are my actual baby plants. And what else have I got over here? Over here, I put, oh, that's the other thing I planted, is some Brussels sprouts. So my potato bed is in. I've got 4 rows of potatoes plus that tub. I don't know if the tub will work for potatoes, but we're going to find out. I'm doing it as an experiment. So over there I also have a couple of Brussels sprouts, and then I just kind of planted Brussels sprouts in this bed of weeds that one of these days I'll have to do something about. So I planted a couple out there. I also have these really pretty, I don't remember what they're called, flowers that my mom planted that are popping up. And all of the catnip, because, you know, you got to grow some catnip. The hollyhocks from last year have come up, which make me happy. And the sedum that I moved and thought wasn't going to make it actually is coming up. I have not decided what I am going to do about this strawberry bed. It's a weed bed at the moment. I have a lot of weeding that needs to get done. My irises are coming up, and these are usually the only irises that actually bloom because they're the only ones that the deer leave alone. So yeah, that was my cute little garden update. I don't know. I've got more stuff that I need to do, but it's kind of a never-ending process. And yesterday, it was really funny. All right, change of lighting as we go into the garage. So, this half of the garage I have not touched. This couch is going out into the transfer station eventually because my wonderful neighbor a couple doors down gave me a set of couches that they had. So that couch no longer fits in the house. It was, I think, third hand when I got it. But I did get this half of the garage cleaned. It's not really organized yet, although it is slightly more organized chaos. And it was so funny because the whole thing with cleaning this garage came about mostly because of my ridiculousness. So I got cute little stapler because I am making these panels that will go up along the garden. I've got them all measured. I still have to tack one more and then get hinges on them so that they can drop down, and hopefully I won't be completely destroyed every time I go to weed the garden by reaching through reaching through chicken wire and scratching up my arms. But I had reloaded the staple gun, and I guess I didn't get this springy thing in correctly. I don't know what that's actually called. I just call it the springy thing. And I had squeezed the trigger to put another staple in and tack down some more chicken wire, and the springy thing springed out. So after the springy thing springed out, I heard it hit the floor. And yesterday, this floor was littered with leaves and just general debris and dirt. So I turned, and somehow the springy thing had disappeared, and I couldn't find it. So I was like, I will just sweep up a little bit, and when I sweep up, it'll be fine. And I'll find the springy thing, and I'll finish doing this. Well, I couldn't find it. It disappeared. And that basically just ended up with turning me into cleaning the entire garage. So yeah, that was how I started fencing and ended up cleaning the garage instead yesterday. Also did not get my chapter read yesterday, so that's what I'm going to do after I finish recording this. Try and get it uploaded, and then maybe get tomorrow's chapter read. Also, look at all the blossoms on my apple trees. They're so pretty. So the tree that came down is, you can see we have a lot of big pine trees, and you don't realize just how tall they are until they fall down. So the one that broke is this big one right here. Let me see if I can focus in on where it actually broke. Yep, there it is, way up there. So that treetop broke, and it fell down right along there. You can see we've gotten a lot of it dealt with. This is all treetop. I've burned 2 piles of treetops and still have 3 more to go. But it hit here, and then it broke again, and the top bounced and fell right there between my house and my neighbor's house. That was terrifying. I cannot imagine what would have happened if it would have hit either of our houses. That would have sucked. I am so glad that it didn't. But yeah, a lot of mess. Now, the other pile of logs that my neighbor has been dealing with is from she had to have her septic repaired, replaced last year, so they had to take out a bunch of trees. And she has been slowly working her way through that wood pile. I say slowly. Honestly, that pile was 3 times bigger, what, 3 or 4 days ago? Something like that. So she's amazing. I thought she was only in her like mid to late 60s. And I told her that I had said that she was 68 in the short that I put up yesterday. And she laughed and said that no, she's going to be 72 this year. So I still want to be her when I grow up. Other stuff. The raspberries, might have to get new raspberry plants. I did put another Brussels sprout right there. And my peony that I planted last year in the tire has come back up. The other thing that came back from last year that I wasn't expecting to is the Dusty Miller came back. And so did the dianthus, even if some of the forget-me-nots have decided to naturalize into there. So yeah, that was my week. It was a long week. It was very frustrating at points. I still have not picked up my stupid little chair that fell over in the windstorm. That shows you where my priorities have been. Never in the right spots. Oh, and a chickadee. Hi, chickadee. The chickadees are kind of transferring over to bug eating, but they do still come and eat the seeds when they're around. Oh yeah, and babies. So the goose babies have been by a couple different times. We've got 3 families of them. And I think one of the goose families lost a baby. Either that or it's a totally different family. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, we've had 3 different goose families. I think that's the only babies I've seen so far, but I'm expecting raccoon babies any time now. So yeah. Anyway, that is about it. I've been babbling for a while now. I guess I should maybe wave at you or something. I look like crap. Sorry about that. That's about it. Oh, there's my hand totally in the way. So yeah, that was my week. It was a long, kind of frustrating week at times, but I think I got a decent amount of things done. I will update you next week and hopefully have good tooth news, but if not, we'll deal with it as we deal with it. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble, and I will check in with you again next week and let you know what life is doing to me.